joining us now, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy. So, we spoke, thanks for joining me, sir. We spoke with the governor. I broached this a little bit, but it seems that, some of the most, for Americans watching this, it was a very basic kind of thing that you would have up. And yet we were also focused on New Year's Eve in New York. I've argued for quite some time that we get a tunnel vision thinking that New York is the only target, whereas, in fact, every great American city, every walk of life in this country needs to be where. What are your thoughts after a day like today?
Tammy, you nailed it. People say, oh, my gosh, the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans. I tell them it doesn't matter what city the Super Bowl is in. You got a lot of soft targets, and it's going to be relatively easy for someone who's motivated and creative to hit those. New York, of course, after 9/11, they're so aware of it, but other cities perhaps not so much. And so you just assume you block the street and people won't drive on the sidewalk. Right. Turns out, wrong assumption. That's what the guy did. That's how the guy killed 15 people. Now, but you nailed it. It's every city that has that should have that concern now.
And just I think a few weeks before, if not a month, maybe November, but there was a shooting at a parade in New Orleans. That the New Orleans PD and the city, they understand there's been a violence issue. So this wasn't, in a way, out of the blue. And that's, I think, what breaks the heart. New Orleans, people love New Orleans. It's a special city for Americans and for people around the world. The video that we've been seeing, a woman standing in shock, video from a balcony, and she's standing in shock over what would appear to be a body that we have blanked out. But the lives ruined, the lives ended, the lives ruined that will never be the same. It's the kind of thing that ISIS and Al-Qaeda thrive on and thirst for. And we should be able to protect, soft targets. Or we do worry also about, we want to be a free country and we don't want to, ruin people's fun. And then we've got the Sugar Bowl tomorrow. What are your thoughts about the degree of security that should be there?
First, let me start where you started. I think you're absolutely right. Anytime there is a street festival in a city, you're going to have soft targets. Anytime you have large groups of people kind of crossing from one side to the other. I'm in Washington, D.C. one day, and they're having a parade, July 4th, a few years ago or something like that. And there's just people lining the streets. Someone highly motivated could have come in and caused damage. Now, by the way, D.C. has closed circuit TV all over the place. The police would be right there. But there was 300 police officers in the French Quarter last night.
Yes, true.
And a highly motivated, creative person couldn't stop that. Now, that said, and again, you nailed it too, in a free society, we give up a little bit of security because otherwise, who wants to go from one checkpoint to the other? But every now and then you pay the price for that freedom. And Al-Qaeda hates our freedom.
And the inspiration that comes from the defund the police movement, the demonizing of law enforcement, the lack of leadership at the federal level, the open border, whether you're coming across the border or not, there's so many messages that America doesn't care about itself. And just like in New York, yes, the police are everywhere, but we've had a guy pushed under a train just yesterday, a woman set on fire in the subway. There's messaging, it seems, sir, for people who are ready to tip over, the assassination attempts on President Trump, that do it because nobody cares. Won't leadership make a difference here?
It will. By the way back when there was an essay or a study, a broken windows theory.
Right.
And it found that if you tolerated little crimes, you ended up with big crimes that followed. If you didn't tolerate the little crimes, the big crimes didn't come as much. So right. If you tolerate a little graffiti, you get a lot of graffiti. If you erase it as soon as it comes up, you stop getting graffiti.
Yeah.
So the point being, leadership needs to say that we're not going to tolerate the crime, that the soft on crime district attorneys, wherever you are, need to be replaced. The blue states, the blue cities that have been soft on crime, they're paying the price. And I think we're getting bigger crimes because of this. I can't say this wouldn't have happened.
Sure.
This guy was, very activated by ISIS apparently.
Sure.
But a lot of our other crime problems can end.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of work to do, but we are ready to get going on that. Sir, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Coming